Welcome back. I'm Grant Goody. Settled in the 1500s by Spanish explorers, St. Augustine, Florida is a city that understands the importance of preserving the past. The same is true for homeowner Court Terrell, who rescued a local 1890s Victorian from the wrecking ball. Court spent 4 years restoring the house to its original splendor, and along the way uncovered a trail of clues revealing a high-class history. The architecture of St. Augustine's historic Central Plaza reflects its Spanish roots dating back to the 1500s. A few blocks away, Court Terrell's 1894 Victorian is a reminder of a different age, when St. Augustine emerged as a popular winter getaway for wealthy northerners. Court's house was once a cottage for a well-to-do couple, but when he bought it, it wasn't so well off.
It had been vacant for a long time, and the decision was either, plow it under or really roll up your sleeves and get to work on the thing, and it was a labor of love.
A preservationist at heart, Court chose to roll up his sleeves.
We purchased this house in 1996, and it wasn't fully restored till about 2000. So it was a full 4 years of backbreaking labor at times to get the thing up to snuff, but it turned out pretty well so far.
While Court and his mother worked on getting the house back the way it was, they peeled away the layers and discovered its elegance was deeply ingrained.
The wood in this house is burl pine, and a lot of the actual intricacies of the wood carvings had been lost to just the goop of the paint. So as we stripped it, it was a lot of work, but we were actually very rewarded when we actually got down to the wood.
Other lucky finds were waiting inside the walls.
As you peeled everything back, you could see, oh my God, the entire history of the house is coming back to the way it was and the way the original planners had planned it, and you could see the actual flow of the way things had been designed in the house.
But Court couldn't go with the flow everywhere.
Originally, when we had the house and you came in through the front door, you had two choices. You either go into the parlor or you went up the stairs. This was walled off, so you walked straight into a wall, bang, and that's all you saw. And the only thing that was exposed to this stair was the first 3 spindles.
Court feared the remainder of the banister and spindles had been removed, so he hesitated about tearing down the wall. But eventually, his curiosity got the best of him.
And the banister came out, and the entire thing was not painted. It was just varnished over, the original varnish.
Pleased by his new discovery, Court took in every detail. That's when he noticed the writing was on the wall.
There was a little note, and we could barely make it out, but it said, this room was built by Walter Decker in 1937.
The note raised questions about the past. Who was Walter Decker, and why did he build the wall? The answers came knocking when a stranger appeared at the door.
Elizabeth Scuggs, Walter Decker's daughter, came to the house and wanted to see her room, and it turns out that they had put this wall in, right here, to create a bedroom for Elizabeth when she was a little girl. And they had done it, apparently, because they had converted the entire upstairs into a rooming house.
Elizabeth turned out to be a relative of the first owners, New England socialites Conrad and Sophie Decker. Court learned that the Deckers called St. Augustine home during the winter months. It was their friend, Henry Flagler, a co-founder of Standard Oil and a Florida pioneer, who drew them here. Court turned up a copy of Conrad's obituary, which indicated the Deckers were part of the town's elite social circle. Following Conrad's death in 1907, Sophie continued to vacation here until she passed away in 1935. Among the documents Court found was a detailed list of the home's belongings at the time of her death.
She's got mirrors, bedroom stool, rug, pair of curtains, 7 pictures, 1 set of washstand china, 1 table lamp. But then, the farther you go into things, you get to see the quirkiness of Sophie Decker. It seems like every room in the house had scarves, tons of scarves. She must have been a very flamboyant lady.
The list provides invaluable insight into how the Deckers lived. And Court managed to dig up more tangible connections from the back garden.
You'll find period items from just garbage areas, inkwells and Brahma seltzer bottles, and I think those are from, this seems to be from the early 1900s, probably around the Decker period.
Like an historic jigsaw puzzle, Court has pieced together his home's history. And he's found there's more to restoration than making a house beautiful again.
If you want to get into old houses and you don't learn about the people who are here and what went on with the house and why it went the way it went through history, then you lose something of the house. It gives you a kinship with who was here before, and that's the whole purpose of it.
Court had to replace the ceilings because they had suffered serious water damage over the years. He believes most of the damage occurred in the 1970s when his home was a rooming house for students attending nearby Flagler College. Many of the former students have stopped by to apologize for abusing the old house, and most of them are glad to see it's now in more caring hands.